All right, day 2 of V-Fest. I'm here with AFI. If you look at your career, I mean, you've been together for a very long time now, and the release of December Underground has brought you into new territory in the sense that you're now in the world of big business and of celebrity.
Minor. Minor celebrity. There's some perks, a few, but it's not so much different for us. At least the release of December Underground hasn't caused much of that. I mean, it's a small. I mean, it was a step for us, and I think I think from an outside view, it was a bigger step than it actually was. Things haven't changed too much for us. You know, really, what changes celebrity more so is the facilitation of communication that the old internet has been providing. That helps with the whole recognition thing. Helps, if that's the word you want to use.
This band has always been able to communicate with its fan base. I mean, you've always been huge within what it is this band caters to as well.
We've been lucky. You know, we're very privileged to have been able to do this for so long and to continue to appeal to people in that way and to touch people and to have them, you know, follow us for 16 years now. It's been great.
People have you been touching?
I was touching Nardwar earlier.
Ah, I saw that.
Yeah, but I mean, such a snazzy dresser.
He is. Interesting sense of style. Completely unique.
Very.
It's very golf inspired.
Yes, it is.
You know, I can see that sort of the golf series on the runway, if you want to do that.
Where I was getting at before, we're talking about kind of the access to the celebrity-ism, not so much the actual of celebrity life. I just mean kind of like you get access now to the parties that not many people get into. You get to see that kind of world from the inside out, and I always imagine it to be a very strange environment for a band like this to be in.
A lot of douchebags.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's nice, you know, it's fun to go and be in that world a little bit, as long as you don't get caught up in it and become one of those douchebags. That's my words of wisdom on that.
That's good. That's good.
Words of wisdom.
That's good.
Ever since this band has started releasing albums, every album has progressively gotten more and more dramatic, and I wonder, does your life actually mirror the drama on a lot of the albums?
I try to not have it do so. You know, luckily the albums are a means of expression of that, and I think music should be very dramatic and you know, should be very emotional, and is a means for us to, you know, express, you know, those moments of our lives. I mean, we do live a different life than most people live. There is a lot going on in it that most people wouldn't have to experience or most people wouldn't think about, but some of it's there. Some of it's there. I don't want to make it out to be more than it is, but yeah, I mean, it's sort of from an honest place.
There was a time when this band was talking about lighter issues, I imagine. What was it? Especially with...
That's a nice way of putting it. Okay, I was 15. Well,
especially...
What can I say? And, you know, in looking back at it, it's not something that I wish didn't exist. I'm glad it exists. It was the foundation to bring us to where we are today. And, you know, I'm not necessarily embarrassed of it, but it's, you know, it's not who I am anymore. It's not who we are anymore. And it's not who we've, you know, it doesn't really speak as to what AFI has been for, you know, over 10 years now. But you know, when you're 15 years old, you have different concerns and different issues than when you're not 15 years old.
Skateboarding, moms.
Yeah, cereal.
I want a mohawk, and my mom won't let me.
Yeah, that wasn't even about me.
Yeah.
That was about my little brother. If you look in the lyrics, you see how old he was at the time. If you dive deep into the profoundness.
Gotta read the lines.
Yeah, you gotta really get in there and figure that out. But yeah, I mean, it was a different time, and we were completely different.
At what point in your life did you start tapping into what was going on around, and especially in the world? Because there was a point in this band where the album started getting a lot more serious, and it kind of seemed to happen overnight.
I mean, as far as the perspective, lyrically speaking, went, that was something that I was really aware of from a young age. Certainly my disconnect with a lot of the people that I felt around me was evident from you know, a time that I feel was earlier than it was for most people, if they ever have that disconnect. It being expressed through the lyrics was a matter of comfort for me. I really didn't feel as comfortable expressing myself in those ways and expressing those emotions at the onset of the band, and as I became more comfortable with writing and performing, those perspectives came out more frequently and in a more honest way.
Being a teenager is such a disconnecting experience anyway. I imagine you hear a lot of these stories back from fans.
Certainly. I think, people who do relate to those emotions and to those themes that run through the songs do really appreciate the way that we put them forward. And we do hear a lot of people who thank us for that, which is nice.
What's going on with Black Audio?
We were just talking.
We are mixing our record right now. Guy from England named Dave Bascom's mixing it, and we're going to be putting it out in late July, and it's great. We're excited about it.
Yeah, so excited about it.
Your relationship with electronic music started a couple years back, did it not?
Well, it depends on what you mean by relationship. If you mean our fandom of it, it started from very, very young ages for both of us. I mean, I think I speak for both of us. We started listening to, bands like Ministry and Skinny Puppy and Depeche Mode and the Pet Shop Boys and bands like that from very, very early on. That moved into, other genres of the broader electronic genre, being, whether it's Lords of Acid or, Paul Oakenfold, but we started working on the Black Audio project.
We started talking about it years ago, like around Sing the Sorrow Time, but we finally just in the last 6 months really put it together, and it's cool, to do such different things, a different sound, and we're going to play shows. There's going to be 2 of us on stage, and me playing keyboards is going to be a weird experience, something we've never done.
We'll see, right?
Is it important to kind of challenge yourselves? Because I imagine you get to a point where you could just continue to do this and it maybe wouldn't be as difficult.
I don't know how much of a challenge it is for Jade. I mean, when we started, discussing this project years ago, immediately, he sat down and Jade can do anything. So he sat down and he's like, oh, here are these 6 songs that are amazing. And I was like, wow. So,
just because I can do it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that continued on to this day with the programming and stuff. So I don't know. Is it a challenge for you?
Controls like that.
I think it's fun. It's an outlet from doing AFI and doing rock music to do something so different. Working on a computer instead of working on a guitar. It's. I think. I hope people are going to be excited about it. It's just a different sound.
A lot of people like dancing these days. What do you think it is about people who are just more willing to shake their ass these days?
Good for them. It's fun. That has a lot to do with where we were coming from, and when honestly, when I was sitting down with the music that he gave me and writing the the melodies and the words and working on it, I was dancing around. I mean, truly. It must have looked ridiculous, but I really was, and same with tracking it. I'd be. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd be bopping around to the music, and I miss my cue to sing. But I think it's great that people are getting more into dancing. Why not? It's fun. It's cathartic. It's a good time, and it lets you just be who you are and not care about what anybody thinks, because dancing is ridiculous. I mean, it is. You just look silly no matter what. I mean, it's just. When it comes down to it, Justin Timberlake looks cool, but
yeah.
I look ridiculous. Okay, I look ridiculous when I dance, but it doesn't matter. You're just having fun.
You doing it in the clothing line? Is that true?
I am, yeah. It's called Payton, and it actually should be out August. I've been working on it for 2 years now. Yeah.
The inspiration of it, because I don't want to offend you by any means, or I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but celebrity clothing lines are just such a cliche at this point that
I completely agree, which is why actually I try not to talk about it too much, and then you're not going to see any posters of me, wearing it, and it's certainly not. It's not a T-shirt, hooded sweatshirt line. There's a lot of care being put into it. It's very stylish, but depending on what your style is, I don't know if you're going to like it or not. But it's a means for me to really create clothing that I love, which is something that I've been interested in for years. I've always had a particular taste, and I see things and say, oh, that would be perfect if this just changed or that just changed. So I'm doing it to be able to create what I would like to wear, I like to see people wear, and for people to enjoy. It's a more left forward line coming out of my perspective, which was based on my upbringing within so many different cultures, so many different scenes, but I'm trying to do it more quality than a lot of people have done in the past. But I just love it.
I imagine at this point in your career as well, with the amount of success you've had, you get a lot of ideas thrown at you, like, hey, we've got this great idea, you could sell this car for us.
Right, yeah. Well, we take it on an idea-by-idea basis. Like, if we feel something is appropriate, then we'll consider it, and if we feel it makes no sense, then we ignore it.
The business side of the industry's changed as well. A lot of even big bands aren't making as much money as they used to selling records. How does that decision-making process work? I mean, obviously you want to make money doing what you do and be able to live, but at the same time you don't want to do stuff that doesn't make your souls feel good.
This is music, and money. Oscar Wilde said that any kind of work of art that's motivated by wealth or desire for money is unhealthy. And if you start doing music based on how much you think you're going to sell and thereby make money, that's never going to turn out well for anyone. Not for your fans, not for you, not for your creativity. So you don't worry about that.
Yeah.